Call no matter what. I don't care what it is. I don't care. I always tell patients, I don't care if you think their pinky toe's going the wrong direction. You just call me. I will walk you through whatever. I will make a visit if needed. That's what I'm here for.
It's not a bother.
It is not a bother. Everybody says that. It's not a bother, I promise. That's what I'm here for. I was born to be here, born to do this.
Welcome to Better Together podcast, produced and directed by our Hospice of South Central Indiana, a not-for-profit organization dedicated to making every moment count. We will share true stories about hospice, palliative, and personal care services that we provide in 22 counties all over the state of Indiana. I'm your host and president, Steph Cain. Well, in the studio today, I have with me Cathy Betz. Welcome.
Hello.
Cathy is our what we call after-hours RN. So Cathy works when everybody else goes home and is sleeping. She is there for our patients and their families, and thank you for that.
Of course.
She's been a registered nurse with our hospice for close to 10 years here in November. She's really been serving our patients with hospice care, and Cathy says that it's truly been her calling. And really,
it has.
Yeah. And I will say, our mission to make every moment count, you certainly do that after hours. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
All right. Families reach out to you in the middle of the night when something feels wrong. And so what are the calls like that you usually get?
So they vary with different questions, different things that's going on. It could be anything as a fall or a medication question, a problem with DME. There's just a number of situations. It's not limited to anything.
Mm-hmm. So DME, you mean like our durable medical equipment?
Medical equipment, yes.
Questions that aren't working or something. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So what kinds of situations are folks most worried about when they call?
Mostly it's the patient's comfort. That they're comfortable, and can be that they're scared of a situation and they just need to be talked through it. It's just their comfort is the most important thing.
They may have had visits from our staff during the day, meaning, could have been our nurse, our social worker, our home health aide, a chaplain, and all is well. But as our patients transition, sometimes it's not during our normal workday hours.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And so when those changes happen.
Yep. They'll call and I'll walk them through it or make a visit if needed, and we'll try to get them as comfortable as possible.
So how do you help someone who is scared and overwhelmed slow down and maybe figure out what's happening? Can you tell us a story about that, a situation?
So the best thing to do when they call and they're upset is to be calm and let them be telling their story, let them be heard. Once somebody feels heard, then they tend to calm down, and to be knowledgeable about what you're dealing with at the time. If you know what you're talking about, they can sense that and they can calm down themselves and work through the situation.
Building trust over the phone when there's real anxiety happening and maybe fear, right? Because they want to do the right thing for their loved one is really what you're doing before. Sometimes you're even there and you can get there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. But there's times where I can't get there in time and I need to make a medication change over the phone or talk with them as I'm driving to their house. I've done that before.
So they know you're coming?
So they know I'm coming, yes, for sure. Yep.
Have you had folks, say, no, you don't need to come, I feel much better. And then you say, I'm still going to come because they're going to need you.
Yes, absolutely. There's been many times that's happened.
And, you're coming to the studio this morning here to talk to us about this important work. And you worked last night.
I did.
Okay,
I did.
So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
I wonder if you can talk to us about how often do people call 911 versus our hospice? How do you help them navigate the situation? We tell folks when you're in hospice, call our number first so that we can help you stay where you most want to be, which would be in your home.
Absolutely.
Most often, or if they live, wherever they call home. Yeah.
Right. So when they call and they're teetering on going to the hospital, I try to explain the situation. I never take that possibility away from them because they can absolutely call 911 if they want to. And then if they do, I'll meet them at the hospital or whatever I need to do to help them navigate through that process. But I would like to at least make a visit first and assess the situation before they call 911. And a lot of times they'll let me do that. But sometimes there's times that doesn't happen. So it just depends.
So what would be a symptom that might cause someone to call 911 when they're fearful?
It could be breathing or stroke. Like symptoms is often a one that they'll call 911 instead of letting me come out first, because we're always told the golden hour, and, so they get worried when that happens. Education, though, when that happens is key. If they understand how that process works, and they may not want to call 911 after that. So once you arrive at the home, what are some of the things you do to help the situation, to support them? So it depends on the situation. Usually I go in and I go straight to the patient and start to assess what's going on, and talking with them and the family, and let the family talk to me about what they've been dealing with, and the patient talk to me about what they've been dealing with, and then go from there as far as medication changes or talking through it or adjusting things.
Can you share a story?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So recently, talking about 911, I had a family that called, and they felt like their mom was having a stroke, and they did not want to wait till I got there. So they went ahead and called 911, and I went to the patient's home because I didn't know they were going to do that. And the patient was already gone. So I followed them to the hospital, and I stayed with them until they decided what they wanted to do, and then was able to come home. But I was able to navigate them through that process and calm everybody down. And, I think they felt better with me there.
Yeah, because you've built that relationship with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know, Cathy, you've had over the past 10 years, a lot of late night conversations with families and loved ones. Are there moments that really stick with you?
So for me, being in this profession, being a hospice nurse, it is a privilege to be with somebody during this process. And it is a privilege to be with them when they die, because it is such a precious moment. And that's what sticks with me most, is being able to be there for people during this process. And I don't really have one story that overcomes the most. I have so many stories, but mainly just being there with them, it's a privilege. It's an honor. And I appreciate that.
If somebody was listening today and they're caring for a loved one, they worry about what might happen in the middle of the night if they're, on watch and with that loved one. What's one thing that you would want them to know?
To call. I don't care what it is. Call no matter what. I don't care. I always tell patients, I don't care if you think their pinky toe is going the wrong direction. You just call me. I will walk you through whatever. I will make a visit if needed. That's what I'm here for.
It's not a bother.
It is not a bother. Everybody says that. It's not a bother, I promise. That's what I'm here for. I was born to be here, born to do this. Every situation is different with families. We have families from every spectrum. I've seen patients pass surrounded by their family and praying over them, and they pass while they're surrounded by their family, and it's beautiful. And I've had situations where they don't have anybody, and I'm there to hold their hand, or, it's just, I don't know. Hospice is such a wonderful thing.
Nobody dies alone.
Nobody dies alone.
This is Better Together, a podcast dedicated to making every moment count. Thank you for listening. Please like us and share on your social media channels. If you have a question, you'd like to learn more about a specific topic, you can find us at ourhospice.org. That's OUR hospice.org, or call 812-314-8083. Until next time, remember, life is short. We are better together, making every single moment count.